Over the last few years, there have been a lot of people who decide what's going on in their state is not acceptable, and they need to find a place to live that better aligns with their beliefs and values. So they look at a place like Iowa. But no matter how much research you do, there's always going to be some things that people don't tell you about a state. So in this video, we're going to talk about some of those things, and hopefully by the end of the video, you can decide if Iowa really is the place that you want to live or not. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Living in Iowa. My name is Tony and my business partner is my wife Anna, and we have lived in Iowa our entire lives. If you're interested in knowing more about what it's like living, eating, working, playing, and buying or selling real estate here in Iowa, this is the channel for you. Go ahead and tap the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so every time we come out with a new video, you get notified. We have people just like you that have been watching these videos, and they're interested in knowing more about what it's like living in Iowa, or they're serious about moving to Iowa and they just need someone to help make that happen. That's why my team and I are here. So if you're serious about moving to Iowa, reach out at the phone number or email address listed below. Day, nights, weekends, it does not matter. We love helping people get moved to this beautiful place. Iowa has lots to offer people, and that's why the state is getting more and more popular for out-of-staters. Whether you want a city living or rural living, Iowa offers a little bit of everything. If you want to live rural, expect more driving for shopping, school, medical, groceries, and more. Also in rural Iowa, internet and cell phone service is something you want to make sure the area is up to par. The first thing I want to mention is cornfields or soybean fields for miles. You may have heard that we have corn here, but I don't know if people not familiar with Iowa understand just how much corn Iowa produces. When you get into rural Iowa, which is a majority of the state, there are stretches of highways where all you see is cornfields and soybean fields for miles upon miles. You may have heard it before, but it is definitely impressive how much corn and soybeans Iowa produces. Iowa is known for the Field of Dreams and is named after the famous film Field of Dreams. Now the MLB has made it a tradition where a game is held there every single year. Dyersville is a farming community, and I've heard that the MLB players just can't believe how much it feels just like the film. The stadium is in the middle of a cornfield and soybean field. Here's the picture of the newly built field to host MLB games. Isn't it impressive? Another thing I want to mention is we don't have irrigation for crops here for the most part in Iowa. I have traveled in just about every direction from Iowa from living here my whole life and going on vacations. I can tell you that Iowa is the only state I know that doesn't have to irrigate their cornfields or soybean fields. Farmers here plant their crops, and Iowa weather and soil does the rest for the most part. Are there drier seasons and wetter seasons that make farming a little bit volatile? Yes, but most years farmers do well, and that is why Iowa is consistently the top corn producing state and one of, if not the top soybean producing states as well. It is amazing how America's heartland can sustain its amazing crop producing fields. Let's get to some fun that you may not have heard of before that only Iowa has to offer, and that is the Iowa State Fair. The Iowa State Fair, established in 1854, is one of the oldest and largest state fairs in the entire United States. It has a rich history of showcasing agriculture, industry, and entertainment with a focus on celebrating Iowa's rural heritage. Today, the Iowa State Fair continues to be a beloved annual event, attracting visitors from across the state and beyond. It features a wide array of attractions, including livestock exhibitions, food vendors offering iconic fair cuisine, musical performances, amusement rides, and various competitions. The fair remains a significant cultural and economic event, highlighting the state's agricultural and cultural traditions. It is a must-see and such a special event that only Iowa offers. Next, let's talk about Iowa's cities. In a recent article from the Des Moines Register, the article breaks down that Des Moines Metro is still the fastest growing metro in all the Midwest. It grew 1.2% from 2021 to 2022, with the next fastest growing metro in the Midwest, Madison, Wisconsin, at 0.9% growth in the same time frame. Des Moines credits to the expansion to an affordable cost of living and amazing career opportunities. We could do a full video just on Des Moines about Des Moines suburbs. In fact, leave in the comments the word Des Moines if you would like us to do a video on the suburbs of Des Moines, and we'll make that one of the next videos depending on your comments. Then you got Cedar Rapids, which is rated the third fastest growing city in all of Iowa according to Stacker.com, with a 9.8% growth rate from 2010 to 2020. We have done tons of videos covering Cedar Rapids, so make sure to look through our playlist of Cedar Rapids to learn more about that city. Cedar Rapids has a lot to offer. I will also link the video we did, Pros and Cons of Cedar Rapids, above, as it goes into depth about the good and the bad of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. A couple more cities to mention that are growing at a steady rate are Iowa City, Bettendorf, and Davenport, Iowa. Iowa City is close to Cedar Rapids. It's approximately 30 miles south of Cedar Rapids. Some of Iowa City's suburbs are also growing at a rapid rate, such as Tiffin and North Liberty. Davenport and Bettendorf are a part of the Quad Cities in the southeast Iowa. They are growing fast as well, and the Mississippi River goes right through the Quad Cities, creating a beautiful scenery. Iowa is growing while also keeping its values intact. Next is affordability, and it is one of the most important things that needs to be mentioned. It may seem obvious to most, but Iowa is rated the 6th most affordable state in the country. According to the website out there, Iowa is by far the nicest state that is also incredibly affordable. Rather than property taxes, Iowa is very affordable. Property taxes in Iowa are higher than most other states, unfortunately. Iowa does make up for this specifically in housing prices. Iowa is much below the national average for homes prices in 2023, and that is single-handedly the reason most people reach out to us at the Living in Iowa team. Speaking of that, if you have any questions that you need answered about any part of Iowa, reach out to us directly at the info on the screen or leave them in the comments. We love helping you get to know the state. Now we're going to get to presidential politics. Iowa holds the first caucuses in the presidential election cycle, making it a crucial state for candidates. This means you'll see a ton of political events and campaign activity leading up to the caucuses. Iowa is on the radar of those that believe in freedom and less government involvement in the day-to-day life. With Iowa adding more and more red-leaning citizens, I think Iowa is only going to get more conservative. That is my theory based on the people reaching out to us at the Living in Iowa team. Iowa is turning more red by the month, it seems. Next up is college sports fandom. In Iowa, there are no professional sports teams. This causes Iowans to become fans of typically one of the two large universities in Iowa, and that is Iowa or Iowa State. Iowa and Iowa State fans love to banter, and sometimes it goes overboard. I've seen on my Facebook my friends and family get into really heated arguments over football, mostly. Iowa fans seem to be much more vocal about hating Iowa State and harsh on the coaches if things are not going as they seem well. This is something most outsiders may not know about Iowa, but Iowans love their sports teams here in Iowa and are not shy about it. For example, in 2022, the Iowa starting quarterback Petrus was not performing well, to say it elegantly. The fans were not the nicest about it, and some of the things said on Facebook were out of bounds. All in all, sometimes Iowans can go overboard and are not afraid to voice their opinion, even if it can be harsh. Next up is homeschooling, and it's a huge topic that needs to be covered when talking about Iowa. Iowa is already one of the most homeschooling friendly states in the entire nation, but it only got more and more friendly since COVID. It is not so uncommon here to have homeschoolers, and the communities across Iowa, especially the Cedar Rapids and Marion area, are coming up with amazing programs to suit families deciding to go with this form of education. For more information, I will link below a great homeschooling site that gives you more information on homeschooling in Iowa. Also, if you have any further questions on homeschooling, we would love to answer them. Just reach out to us directly. Next, I want to talk about hidden gems that don't get enough coverage in Iowa. We talked about the state fair in Iowa that takes place in mid-August. Iowa also has the Mississippi River Valley in the northeast part of the state. One of our favorite places to go in the northeast Iowa is a small town called Guttenberg, Iowa. It has so many beautiful roads with deep valleys and high hills. The river from above the town is gorgeous as well, and it overlooks the entire Mississippi River Valley and the Mississippi River. Also, the fishing in Guttenberg is second to none in the state. From huge bluegill, crappie, and tons of walleye and sauger, the Mississippi River in Guttenberg at the dam is an absolutely amazing place not many know about. Then you have the Makokata Caves in eastern Iowa as well. These caves are amazing to see and are much bigger than you'd expect. You also have in the western Iowa in Sac City, where they are all about popcorn and have the biggest popcorn ball in the US each year. We also have the Grant Wood area in Anamosa, Iowa, that is known for its rolling hills, as the famous artist Grant Wood painted often. Then, the last hidden gem I believe everyone should know about is up in Decorah, Iowa. The streams there are absolutely gorgeous and provide amazing trout fishing that most other states would dream to have. Next up is really important, that's Iowa nice. It's a term that's thrown around here a lot. It is something that outsiders may not know about. People in Iowa are extremely nice and are neighborly for the most part. There are outliers, but the norm is nice, friendly people. Iowa is not known for its fast lifestyle, so the people here are more laid back and just want to live peacefully. That is a big attraction for those that don't like the busy lifestyle. We work with many people that relocated outside of Iowa, and we have asked them what they like most about living in Iowa. Every single one of them has mentioned the people are friendly. It is a theme that is something to be proud of here in Iowa. Next, let's talk about the extreme weather here in Iowa, as the mainstream news usually doesn't cover Iowa. We do get extreme weather here in Iowa though. It can be tornadoes, thunderstorms, brutally cold, extreme heat indexes, hail, and more. Iowa is landlocked and doesn't have hurricanes or earthquakes here in Iowa, so that's a positive. But in August of 2020, Cedar Rapids got the brunt of a tornado/thunderstorm, is the best way to describe it, into one, and that was called a derecho. Cedar Rapids got totaled by this storm as it sustained over 100-mile-per-hour winds for over 45 minutes straight. The entire city was without power for multiple days, and with some areas without power for over 2 weeks. It may not be an attractive part to Iowa, but it is something most won't talk to you about, as it is a negative. Overall though, storms like this are not typical, and most years extreme weather doesn't alter your life. Next up, I want to talk about hunting and fishing here in Iowa, and it's something that does not get talked about enough here in Iowa and get national coverage. Hunting in Iowa is definitely not talked about enough. White-tailed deer are the prize of the state. And here in Iowa, we have huge white-tailed deer. The buck can get over 250 pounds with amazing size racks. In parts of Iowa, there is amazing duck and pheasant hunting as well. Now, if you get into fishing, you can't talk about Iowa without covering the Mississippi River in the east border of the state. Some of the best fishing in all of Iowa and the US is on this river, from bluegill, crappie, bass, northern pike, walleye, sauger, catfish, and more. The Mississippi River is a must fish in Iowa. You also have a number of lakes, with some of the more popular fishing lakes being Lake Okoboji in north central Iowa, Lake Rathbun in southern Iowa, and others scattered throughout the state. All in all, Iowa has its fair share of hunting and fishing for outdoor enthusiasts. Last, I want to mention the changing seasons. Other states like Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and even eastern states like the Carolinas, Tennessee, and others get a ton of attention for their fall leaves. I may be biased, but I think Iowa's just as nice, especially along the Mississippi River Valley. With the deep valleys and high points to take a look at the beautiful fall leaves, to me, Iowa is on par with all those other states. Leave in the comments if you have seen Iowa's fall leaves, and if you agree that Iowa's fall season are just as beautiful as the states that get all the attention. Also in the spring, when the trees and flowers bud, is something to see. I always love seeing the bloom of the crabapple trees here in Iowa. With their bushy white and pink buds, it is really a beautiful sight to see. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comments section letting me know if some of the things are deal breakers for you or nope, Iowa is definitely a place you could see yourself living. Reach out at the phone number or email address listed below. And if you are serious about getting moved to Iowa and you'd like some assistance doing that, reach out anytime.